challenges to the pros, X Games to Olympic Games, and joint rolling contests to bongathons. It's time for the Thrasher Sports Wire with your hosts, Herb Thrasher and Radical Russ. Now here's Herb Thrasher.
Hey everyone, how's it going tonight? It's Tuesday night. Herb Thrasher here with Radical Russ.
We're back.
That's right, here in Rolla J Rip City Studios, Portland, Oregon. And another big week as always. Always sports going on, many different sports going on. And now we're finally, Russ, we've been waiting. We're finally into March Madness. Phil's March Madness, that's right. All you guys know, you guys are always filling out those brackets. And we will definitely here at 420radio.org have some kind of bracketology for you guys to fill out. We'll have some kind of prize or something. Haven't quite gotten to that yet. A little behind, but Russ, I mean, we've got to get this going. Many teams to pick. Conference tournaments are going on right now, and then Sunday will be conference, and then we'll figure out who's going to this tournament.
Yeah, we've got, we'll be breaking down for you the teams that have already won their conference tournaments. So there's like 8 or 9 of them now that are already in. And remember, it's 68 now because of those play-in games, which, I don't know, I'm not fond of that. But
yeah, you know,
whatever. We'll cover these teams, and I got a couple of cool stories about a couple of these teams to break down for you.
Right on. A few games going on right now as we speak. Some closer than others. Some right there at it. North Dakota State is hanging tough, and Florida A&M and Delaware State. So a lot of these teams we'll talk about and keep you updated and get you guys ready for March Madness. Also, NBA. Lots going on in the NBA. Game going on right now. Dallas and Golden State, and that's very close. Only a 2-point game. So, Russ, Portland's, they just seem to go and then they tire out. They go 3-game losing streak.
Yeah, unfortunately, they went down to Texas and lost a game in Houston that they had been leading, and they let it go into overtime and lost that. Now they just lost a game in Memphis. So 3-game losing streak. They're down to the 5 seed at this point, 5.5 games back, trailing Houston and the Clippers, who are 3.5 games back. So they're 2 games back from the next possible position.
Yeah, Oklahoma City's still doing good. Lakers have actually won a few games here lately and showing some promise with some of their young guns. Hearing a story of Phil Jackson going back to the Knicks as an owner. So a little bit of NBA talk, and we'll get to that and see what's going on. We'll tell you some of the East teams have already made it in the playoffs, and we are not even out of March yet. And that's just a little bit weird to be talking about the playoffs and teams are already in when it's so early in the season.
Playoffs?
Playoffs? One of the classic ESPN clips right there from, what was his name?
It was the
Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, it was the Colts. He was a New Orleans coach. Jim Mora.
Yeah.
Classic. So you guys definitely hopefully remember that. That was really good stuff. And then free agency, Russ, NFL, man. I tell you what, Julius Peppers no longer a Bear anymore. The Miami Dolphins finally got rid of Jonathan Martin, so no more headlines with that guy.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff coming through. My little ESPN thing keeps going off here to let me know that there's something happening with the latest ones going down. So
all right. Well, that's probably going to be too much for us to keep up with. We'll do our best to give you some of the top free agent moves today in the NFL. All right, so we got a lot of NBA and a lot of college basketball and a little bit of football and a little bit of weed. So Radical Russ, Herb Thrasher, Rolla J Studios, 420.org. We'll be right back. Stay with us, folks.
I'd like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the best way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, "I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney, Omar Figueroa." Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215, or on the web at omarfigueroa.com. 420 Radio, the world's voice of marijuana nation. Cannabis Outreach Collective is an alternative health and wellness option located in Gladstone, Oregon, that serves patients in the Portland area and beyond. We are a full-service alternative health and wellness collective accommodating patients with natural, organic, holistic, and homeopathic remedies, nutritional guidance, advice, education, and medical cannabis, fully in accordance with Oregon OMMP law. You can find out more about Cannabis Outreach Collective on Facebook at COC503 or by emailing cannabisoutreachcollective503@gmail.com or by telephone at 503-853-1319. Check out our menu on Weed Maps and visit Cannabis Outreach Collective today.
Now we're back with Thrasher Sports Wire. Here's Herb Thrasher.
All right, a little Godsmack right there, crying like a bitch, right here in Roller J Studios in Rip City, Portland, Oregon. And college basketball going on. Finally got here to March Madness. Been waiting for a long time. It's hard to really watch college basketball these days until we start getting close to March. And here we are. Many teams going on. Last sports, we kind of told you the top 25. And Russ, I don't see much change in the top 25. Wichita State, you got to give them more than enough. 34-0.
34-0, going to the tournament undefeated, only undefeated team in the nation. The Shockers are shocking. And, you know, they lost in the Final Four to the champion.
They
so,
did.
You know, they're for real.
They are for real. They're a really good team. They've been building this for quite a while now, and so this isn't a surprise to a lot of the basketball enthusiasts out there, well aware that Wichita State. So those of you guys wanted to know some teams for your brackets, maybe look at them, although they haven't lost, so that means also where us teams are due.
Yeah, it's their third straight season going to the big dance, and I'm looking for them to do good things. I can see them making the Final Four again.
Florida's still number one. SEC tournament starts on Thursday. Other tournaments going on now. Russ, what kind of headlines you got for us?
Well, the big headline out of the SEC is Kentucky just falling out. They used to be at the top of the rankings, and now
they won the championship last year.
And they're not even ranked now. They've dropped out of the top 25.
They have.
Yeah, they've fallen out of the top 25. They've lost 3 of their past 4 games. They lost to number 1 Florida. Okay, 84-65, but they lost. And then struggled and shot 60%.
Struggled against Alabama a few games ago.
Yeah, and you know they're just supposedly they had this great freshman group that was this elite group of freshmen that now just aren't performing. They've been getting double and triple teams on their star forward, Julius Randle, and not dealing with it apparently, and have fallen out of the top 25. So Kentucky now 12-6 in the SEC, 22-9 overall. They'll be going to the tournament.
Well, that's what they keep saying, but I don't really see how everyone keeps anointing them this position to get into the tournament. But here's the deal with Kentucky, and you got to understand Kentucky's position here. They really are. They're the bar. They're the elite. They're the top shelf in college basketball. If you really look at all what they've won. And Kentucky, every year, they get these top recruits. They play 1 year, and then these guys go to the NBA. And so John Calipari and Kentucky through the years, they've had a hard time of anointing a team, getting a team, and having players play 2, 3, 4 years together. That doesn't happen at Kentucky. And this year, you know, there's this thing called chemistry.
Yeah.
And you can't,
especially in basketball.
That's right. And you just can't judge it sometimes. And that's what's going on at Kentucky right now is they signed every state's number one recruit. But at the same time, once they put them together, didn't spin.
Yeah. You can't have a team full of Kobe's.
That's
right?
exactly
It's
right.
just somebody's got to pass.
That's exactly right. So leading the Pac-12 right now, Arizona looking tough at 28-3. Definitely looking good, and some other teams going on right now.
Oregon got some love in the poll, got 39 votes, didn't make the top 25, but there's another Pac-12 team getting some love.
If they do good in the tournament, Oregon is one of those up and down teams that have they've had some big wins, but then they have these terrible losses, and that's one of the thing about college basketball is, your RPI makes a difference.
Yeah, and Canzano the other night on the local news channel, or our sports guy, was talking about how Oregon's looking to go in maybe as like an 8 or a 9 seed, so they're going to get some good mid-major team. We'll see. We'll see what they get.
Well, it'd be interesting to see, because I would like to see Oregon in this tournament. They definitely. It's been a while since I think a team from this state has been in the tournament, so it'd be really good. But other teams going on right now. Syracuse, it's the top teams, man. Duke, will Syracuse, Kansas. Will these teams continue to lead their conferences and get top seeds? That's the key right now, and that's one of the keys with Wichita State we spoke of earlier. Is it say if they're looking at a top, will they get a number one seed?
The possibility is there. I haven't checked what the seedings are even looking like yet. There's so many teams yet to go through their tournaments and everything. I did want to make note that of course Oregon beat Arizona, and that's part of why they dropped a little in the poll. This is 3 days ago, right? So Ducks were just knocking it down in Eugene, and that was the other thing that Canzano was saying, is that basically punched their ticket to be able to go to the tournament, beating a number 3 at the time.
I see. Okay, and that is how it works. You get a big win like that, and you never know. And that's what I'm for Alabama and our team. We're definitely not going to the tournament, but we've still got the SEC tournament, and if we can get in there and somehow win a couple of games, you get a little bit of momentum. Next thing you know, you're in the semifinal round of the SEC. Get lucky, and you just never know. So now is the time where teams are definitely, they're punching their tickets, they're wanting to go dancing.
Yep, and looking at some of the other dancers who are already in the tournament right now, I have to deliver some bad news to Howdy Y'all in our chat room, who's predicted that the University of Wisconsin Green Bay will get into the tournament and win a few. They will be the Horizon League champs. I'm sorry to say Milwaukee is the Horizon League champs. They beat Wright State 69-63. They were picked to finish last in the preseason poll. They were seeded 5th going into the conference tournament, and they ended up winning 69-63 over Wright State. Wright State had already beat Green Bay, or no, actually I think it was the other team that beat Green Bay. But anyway, Green Bay had already lost, and yeah. So Milwaukee's in as the Horizon Conference champion. And as far as other conference championships, Harvard is 26-4. They're the Ivy League team to go in. They don't have a conference tournament, so Harvard just had the best record. And when Crimson defeated Yale, that allowed Harvard to get in. This is their 3rd consecutive appearance in the tournament. Coastal Carolina wins the Big South. You know what the team name for Coastal Carolina is?
I do. Chancellors.
Very damn close. Judges, can we accept the Chancellors? No, I'm sorry.
It's chicken. It's a rooster.
It's very close. It's
the
the
name
Chanticleers.
For a rooster. Oh, Chanticleer. That's it.
Chanticleers. There we go.
But what is
I have no clue.
I'm telling you right now, it's the name for a rooster. I looked this up the other day because I gave him a shout out. Cliff Ellis is the head coach of Coastal Carolina, and Cliff Ellis used to coach Auburn, and Auburn fired him, and it was this big deal because he's a great coach, and he ended up going to Coastal Carolina. And I saw it on the news the other day, and I saw the name, and I put the definition up on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, it says he's been with 3 other schools: South Alabama, Clemson, and Auburn.
Yep. Really good coach. So shout out to Coastal Carolina. I do think that's awesome. And those are some of the great stories going on at this time of the year. At the same time, also brings bad stories. And I'm also noticing, schools right now, as you lose these tournaments now, some schools are also going on and axing coaches. And I'm noticing already right now, UNC Wilmington, Loyola Marymount, Tennessee State, South Dakota already. So there's 4 schools already firing coaches. And, these aren't even the big ones yet. We aren't even getting in. So look for some coaches to go ahead and start, this is the time of year where things start happening. A lot of teams ended up taking it to the house at the same time.
Yeah. In the Ohio Valley Conference, Eastern Kentucky is going to the big dance, representing Ohio Valley. And they haven't been to the tournament since 2007. They played top-seeded North Carolina and lost that year. The Eastern Kentucky team, the Colonels. Right?
Yep.
All right. Get a little fried chicken when we go.
Yep.
In the Atlantic Sun Conference, Mercer is the team that's going forward. Mercer. And here's where we've got an interesting story about a 6-year college basketball player.
6 years.
Guy's name's Jacob Gollin. Heads to the first NCAA tournament after 6 seasons. His first 2 seasons, he had injuries that happened. So the thing opens here. This is from the Associated Press. Says after 4 years of college, Mercer forward Jacob Gollin has a bachelor's degree in communications. Wow. After 5 years, he added a master's degree in educational leadership. And in his 6th year, he's going to the NCAA tournament. He's played 152 games during his 6 seasons. And that makes him the player who has played the most games without getting to the NCAA tournament. Nobody has played more games without going to the NCAA tournament, right? Because that adds, up to 6 games to your season, right? So, 152 games. He's headed to the, he apparently had a bad foot surgery that exacerbated, other injuries. And so there you go. After 6 years in college, man, 7 years of college down the drain.
North Dakota State.
Not for him. Not for him.
North Dakota State moving on. They just beat, and I can't figure out who IPFW would be. Who would that be?
International Pipe Fitters Union? No, wait a minute.
What the hell, man?
I don't know who that is.
And they are the Mastodons. Oh, you gotta love that.
The IPFW Mastodons?
Freaking dude, we gotta claim them the medal team, but it's still, I don't know.
What is IPFW? I know. Try ipfw.edu and we shall find out.
This is crazy.
It is. It can't be that. Carnegie Community Engaged University.
Anyways, it's the Mastodons, so they are the heavy metal team for the NCAA, as Mastodons in the studio right now, and they're talking about recording not 1, 2 new albums. All right, Russ, we knew
Indiana
Russ would find
University, Purdue University at Fort Wayne.
You've got to be freaking kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
That's a freaking community college, isn't it? What the hell?
I'm telling you.
Goodness gracious, that's the team I'm pulling for right there.
IPFW, International Pipe Fitters World
too bad.
Union.
Actually, they lost to North Dakota State. But, man, that's the team we needed to win right there.
Hey, I got to say, though, Mastodons,
yeah,
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that's classic stuff right there. We need to find out how Stony Brook is doing, man. That's usually our team, man.
Stony Brook.
Yeah, how the hell are they doing, man? Anyways, Herb Thrasher here with Radical Russ.
This is what
here.
we do. The State University of New York, Stony Brook University. And we'll see what I can find.
Here in Rolla J Studios, and we're just talking sports and a little bit of NCAA as March Madness is here finally. And we were going to be having some brackets to fill out here very soon. A little bit of news on that. All right, let's take a break and come back and talk a little bit of NBA. Stay with us, folks.
Adam Hand of Handmade Apparel produces quality custom designs for t-shirts, hats, and other apparel. Handmade Apparel is the official design shop for 420 Radio, The Russ Belville Show, Ganja John, and Cascadia Concentrates, among many clients who rely on Adam Hand for everything from short-run custom projects to full-run clothing lines. Adam's meticulous designs are individually crafted and screened in vibrant, high-definition color. Visit handmadeapparel.biz to browse the selection of handmade gear or to get a personal quote for your own designs. Handmade Apparel, a proud supporter of 420radio.org.
Let 'em bring in the beat.
Big Daddy Fink's Funky Roller Rink, starring Big Daddy Fink from Atlanta, Georgia, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on
You know you're listening to Thrasher Sports Wire when you get some mandatory 6 feet under. Now here's our Thrasher.
Welcome back, everyone. Before we get to some NBA, definitely wanted to give you an update on Stony Brook Seawolves. And,
The Seawolves.
yeah, they're the Seawolves. They're out of the American East Conference and actually doing pretty good this year, Russ. 13-3 in conference, 23-9 overall. They're second in conference. They just had a win over Hartford on March 9th. And so on the March 15th, they play Albany. And so I bet the winner of that game goes dancing.
Probably so.
Stony Brook still in contention. They have an RPI of 162. Wow, it's pretty good. So Stony Brook's definitely up there, man. They've definitely had some, they've had some great games. So looking forward to keeping up with Stony Brook Seawolves in the NCAA tournament. Hopefully they win and we can pull for all those Stonies out there.
Hell yeah.
All right, man. Our Thrasher here with Radical Russ here in Roller J Studios. And NBA, Russ, man, Portland just can't seem to, just keep a streak going. It seems like they win a few games, Portland gets all fired up. They're in the 3 spot. And as we mentioned, there's a lot of teams tied up in that area right now. Lose a few games, they're already back in the 5th spot.
Yeah, and got Golden State creeping up on them as well. And it's just, seems like they just get out of sync. Like they adapt to LaMarcus Aldridge going out, and then when he comes back, they have to readapt to having him in. And then they'll readapt to having him in, but he will have an off night, so they'll have to try to go back to what they were doing before. And they've had other guys that have been in and out, including Lopez and the guy with the name that's backward, Myers Leonard.
Oh, yeah.
I always think his name should be Leonard Myers, right?
Yeah.
Myers Leonard. And so there's been, some of the big men have been rotating in and out, so they've had to change up from playing small ball to playing, tall. And it's just been sad because they had it, that game in Houston. They were up and leading, and then, let it go to overtime and lost in overtime. Don't know what happened in this collapse in the game in Memphis. I was checking out the various scores I was getting on my handheld here, my computer, and it was telling me that the Blazers were leading at some point. No, I guess they were down at halftime, and then ended up losing by 10. So, yeah, it's going to be tough. Blazers going to have to get back home and win some games.
Well, a lot of teams are in those positions right now. Oklahoma City and San Antonio, those two, they kind of, there seems to be that level of shelf. Mm-hmm. And then you have Portland, the Clippers, Golden State, a few of these
Houston.
teams kind of fighting in trying to get these spots. And so it's like nothing's a given right now. These teams are so close. They're within games of each other, within half games of each other. So this is going to go down to the wire for sure.
But you got to look at the Clippers with an 8-game winning streak, San Antonio with a 7-game winning streak. It's teams that get hot toward the end, too.
No, you really do. And, that's expected of San Antonio. That is exactly how they do. Tim Duncan, he's got to where he doesn't even play in November and December hardly. He just flops around out there, shoots a couple of free throws. You know what I mean? But it's good for him. I mean, dude, these boys.
The longest losing streak in the Western Conference is 3 games. 2 teams have that, Portland Trailblazers and the last team in the league, the Sacramento Kings.
Wow.
So the only 2 teams have a 3-game losing streak right now in the West.
Wow. What about the East? How many teams do we have with winning records?
In the East, okay, we got winning records now.
A lot better
for the
now,
top
though.
6.
Yeah.
Doing better. Top
really,
6 have
man.
winning records.
There for a while. It was 2 teams.
2 teams.
And then one got 3. We were lucky to have a 3rd team in there.
Yeah, and then we got Indiana and Miami. Both have 17 losses, but Indiana has 47 wins, so they're a game and a half ahead. But both those 2 teams have clinched playoff spots.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy.
That's amazing. It's at 64 games in, so there's still, 16, 17, 18 games left in the season.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice to be able to claim that.
Well, we've been talking about Indiana for a while, and, they really got a team. They got, Paul George has been just magnificent.
I always laugh when I think of Indiana. It's like the law firm of Hibbert, George, Hill.
Yeah. I know there is something to that. I know. It's so funny, but, it's like the way you almost got to pull for this team a little bit, the way they've come together, because they've really done it through the draft, and they've really drafted good through the years and got some of these big-time players. But I was just noticing, I didn't know that Andrew Bynum was a Pacer.
I see.
Long-time Laker there for a while, and he got to where he was just killing the Lakers, and just wanted to get rid of him. You couldn't wait to just kick his butt out the door, and I kind of hate to see him land on a good team.
Yeah, speaking of the Lakers, aren't they still empty benched and guys?
Lakers are just awful. It's one of those teams where, and it's one of those things where you don't recognize any of these players out there. You're used to having names that on the back. Kobe and Fisher and Shaq. I mean, you just know Laker players, whether you hate them or not. You know them. Man, this team is, I don't know I just don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know. But I'll tell you one team they did beat the other night, Portland Trailblazers.
Yes, they did. They did. That was the other shocking loss.
It was alley-oop, man. That alley-oop. Yeah. I mean, it was 2 guys who don't even know what they're doing. Yeah. They just threw it up, caught it, and basket, and there it was.
Hey, also, speaking of stuff going on in Portland, All for Freedom, one of our chatters in the live chat room, reminds us that arena football's starting. And the Portland Thunder will be playing on the 17th.
That's right, man. I wonder if that's something we should look into.
So that'll be next Monday night.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know too much about it. I have been hearing a little about the sport for sure. I wouldn't know the teams or the cities that are participating.
I have to register a complaint, though.
What's that?
There's no thunder in Portland.
Yeah, I know.
We don't get no thunderstorms out here.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know what's up with that.
Portland Thorns,
Yeah. And then the Timbers, they had their opening game, and that was a 1-1 draw. So
Timbers expected to kind of do good. Had a great season last year, brand new coach.
Yeah, we'll see.
And we'll see. But, yeah, Timbers moving on. So, as of right now, back to the NBA. Golden State moving way ahead of Dallas, 51-34. So
that's good for them. Dallas is right behind them in the rankings. Dallas number 7, Golden State number 6.
Yep. So that in a way, yep. There you go. So either way, whoever loses that game helps Portland.
That's right.
That's the way to look at that. Lakers don't care. All right, man. Anything else in the NBA?
No, I think that's it. As far as we had the. I don't know where Jason Collins ended up. I know he signed for 10 days with the Brooklyn Nets, and that was a big deal because he came out as being gay, and then, oh my God, somebody signed him for 10 days. I think he was signing another contract, but I haven't checked up on it recently.
Don't know too much about the Sixers losing 17 games in a row. I don't know if that's anything to write home about.
I was seeing some of the highlights on ESPN or something of somebody just, and it's looking like they're starting to look like the Washington Generals against the Globetrotters. Right, it's starting to look that bad. Like other teams, it was the Clippers, I think, and breakaway, 3 on nobody breakaway, where the first guy is bouncing the ball up and the second guy is throwing it up against the backboard, and then what's his name from the Clippers there, Blake Griffin, is coming in to dunk it, right? So it's like looking like some of these teams are just playing as if it's a Globetrotter game. It's just sad.
Well, here's a headline for you, being a Portland Trailblazer fan. Rockets guard Beverly says Lillard whines.
Oh, locker room material, huh?
There you go.
Bulletin board stuff, huh?
Oh,
Whines.
Nice
Lillard
to see
whines.
the Houston Rockets and the Portland Trailblazers guards
Still.
going at each other a little bit here.
Yeah.
Right.
That goes back a while, though.
That
goes
does.
back to Sam Cassell days, man.
Yeah, back in those days. I mean, Portland actually had Clyde Drexler on their team at that time.
That's right.
And
That's
so-
right. That is a weird relationship between Portland and Houston because of that Drexler trade, man.
That's right. That's
a
right.
weird thing.
I know. So big time stuff, NBA. And yep, there you go. I don't know too much. Anything else on NBA for you, buddy?
No, I could go back to the NCAA tournament because a few more teams we didn't cover as far as that are in. The Colonial Athletic Association, Delaware, won their game, and they're going to be going to their first ever, not their first ever appearance, sorry, but name of the Delaware team?
Nope.
The Blue Hens.
The Blue Hens.
So what's up out there on these little schools out there? You're all picking chicken names. We had the Chanticleers.
Well, see, that makes sense to me
Yeah.
because that's South Carolina. And
Yeah,
them boys,
Gamecocks.
Cocks, the Roosters.
Yeah.
They fight them like you wouldn't believe in that
All
area.
right. I guess that's that.
So all that makes sense. I mean, going back to the Confederate days, those states and stuff. But I don't know.
Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. First of all, I didn't know there was such a thing, but it's the MAC, right? Because they have the 2 A's, right? All it needs is to be like I wonder if the office is the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference office, MACO, right? I don't know.
Got
But
me.
Manhattan won their game to go into. They beat Iona. They won their game to be able to go to their first tournament appearance since 2004 when they upset 5th-ranked Florida in the first round and narrowly lost to Wake Forest in the round of 32. The name of the Manhattan team?
I gotta give up.
The Batmen would be nice. Wouldn't that be good? The Manhattan Batmen. But no, it's the Jaspers.
Never come up with
The
that
Manhattan Jaspers. Where in the hell does that come from?
one.
All right.
I just don't know. I mean, everything comes out of the woodworks here.
And finally, from the
Mark.
Southern Conference, there's a Southern Conference, not the Southeastern Conference,
Yep.
mind you.
Yeah, I'm familiar with the Southern Conference.
Southern
now.
Conference.
We play a few of
Wofford.
those teams in football.
Wofford. And Wofford's team, the Terriers. Wofford Terriers. So there you go. Those are some of the teams that are already in the big dance and will be, most of them, losing their first round game to some
Well, I'm
big
pretty
ass
sure
team.
Wofford's actually. I'm familiar with them a little bit. They've
Yeah.
been in the tournament. They're one of those teams that kind of get in the tournament. I think a pretty good bit. So shout out to Wofford and Delaware, them Blue Hens and whoever, all them teams. So
That's right.
There's you a little bit of March Madness. Definitely kicking up more by the weekend. We'll know who's all in. Sundays when they pick. This weekend is all finishing the conference tournaments. All right, there's you some NBA, there's you some NCAA basketball. Coming back on the other side with I don't know what. Stay with us.
Hockey.
420radio.org.
support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420.
In the afternoon, if I'm home, I smoke marijuana.
You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
Marijuana, yeah, yeah. I got my ganja.
You can get 420 Radio on the go with our Shoutcast stream for all internet-enabled media players. Go to rad-r.us/420shout or just click the Shoutcast icon below the live radio feed at 420radio.org.
Georgia. Hi, this is Willie Nelson, and I need your help. Our marijuana laws are terribly unfair, and they make criminals out of law-abiding citizens. Nearly 2,000 Americans are arrested every day on marijuana charges, and we are unfairly destroying the lives and careers of hundreds of thousands of people simply because they smoke marijuana. These are not criminals. They are average citizens like you, good neighbors who work hard, raise families, pay taxes, and contribute to their communities. And it's time we stopped arresting responsible marijuana smokers. We need your help to end marijuana prohibition once and for all. It's the fair thing to do.
For more information, contact NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws. Call toll-free 888-67-NORML or visit their website at norml.org.
This is Radical Russ encouraging you to take a look at the Weed Blog every day. Johnny Green and the staff at the Weed Blog are on top of all the latest developments in the fight to end marijuana prohibition nationwide. You can even get the Weed Blog on your smartphone by installing the Weed Blog app for iPhone and Android. If it's about weed, it's on the Weed Blog, including my original writing. So don't delay, read the Weed Blog today.
It's just me. Yeah. At the end of the day, dog. It's just me. The only one to get my dirt done and make my legs run underneath the hot sun. Just me. I'm motivating, dedicating, state hopping, trouble bubble popper, who be all the time dropping. Just me.
Yeah, that's some rhymes from our Oregon homeboy, the Dirt Ball, with Just Me. He's a member of the Cottonmouth Kings. Welcome back. It's Thrasher Sports Wire. Here's Herb Thrasher.
Yeah, boy. Shout out to Mike Modano of the Dallas Stars. That's right, Russ. After so many years, he was a big-time stud. And you know, one of the things that makes such a great story is, you know, hockey being from Canada, as we know, it's their sport. I just winning the Olympic gold.
Both of them.
You know, hockey expanded there in the late 80s, early 90s into some cities that you just didn't think would ever work. And that was like Dallas and Nashville and Atlanta, you know.
Yeah.
And through the years, Dallas actually was a really good team. And those teams in the late 90s going against Detroit and Colorado Avalanche, remember it was some really great hockey. Just wanted to give Mike Modano a shout out. On Saturday, they retired, well, actually immortalized his number 9.
Oh.
So classic stuff right there for Mike Modano and any and all of you Dallas Stars fans out there. Congrats. All right, Russ, what kind of headlines do we got in the NHL this week?
Well, you know, there's that weird story coming out, and this is being reported by ABC News. The headline I'm reading, man's body found in missing hockey player's SUV.
Yeah, I heard about this.
This is weird. A man's body was found Tuesday in a Michigan Walmart parking lot in an SUV, matching the description of one belonging to a missing minor league hockey player. The dead man's identity was not confirmed. This was in Saginaw Township, and Terry Trafford is the name of the minor league hockey player, reportedly last seen around 9:30 in the morning on March 3rd at the event center, the home arena for his team, the Saginaw Spirit. They reported he might be driving a 95 green Chevy Sierra pickup, which is what they found, this SUV that they found in the parking lot. He's a voluntary missing persons, according to the reports. He's been on the Ontario Hockey League for several seasons. He was sent home for a violation of the rules, but they didn't say what that was. And there we go. Now, the girlfriend, her name is Sky, said she's been dating this guy Trafford since 2010 and was devastated after the team sent him home for partying on a road trip. So, was this minor league hockey player sent home for the violation of team rules alcohol, marijuana? We don't know. Doesn't say, right? But that's, that's what the girlfriend is saying. For partying on a road trip is her quote. And she says that the guy, Trafford, who's missing, sent her a text message Sunday that said his life was over and that he didn't want to do it anymore.
Oh, man. Okay.
So we don't know what's going on, but the dead guy they find is not, well, we don't know if it's him, the hockey player, yet. They just found the body. And this was reported on Monday. I will see if I can find any new information on Terry Trafford here in the news to see if we can update this, because this is a very strange story.
It really is, man. I mean, hockey...
yeah, it does turn it. Now, they have identified, they confirm it is him. This is coming from Pro Hockey Talk, NBC Sports. Terry Trafford's body found. Yes, they confirmed it. Reaching out, behalf of the spirit. Yeah, they confirmed it's him. And Sky spoke with Yahoo about how he reacted to the news. When I spoke to him, he was completely devastated because he told me that the spirit sent him home for good and that they didn't want him back on the team because he had gotten in trouble. That's what Terry had told me. And this kid was 20 years old.
Man, terrible story coming out of that camp. So condolences to the family, friends, and anyone associated with that program. My goodness. Terrible story. All right, let's get to something else.
Okay.
How about a dude having a heart attack?
What? Well, let's lighten things up a little.
But no, here's the thing about this guy, Russ.
Okay.
And this is hockey, dude.
All right.
This guy, speaking of the Dallas Stars, he's a player for the Dallas Stars, and he's Rich Peverly.
Okay.
And he collapsed on the bench with cardiac arrest during the first period. And teammates saw him, and they all kind of rushed, and they were grabbing him. They didn't know what to do, and the paramedic, the doctor team's there. They ended up taking him back and ended up getting him kind of under control, and as blah, 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 as the story goes, this guy was wanting to go back in the game during the third period as he had regained his consciousness and everything. The doctors, coach, players, I'm sure the owner, everyone told him, no, hell no, you're not going back into the game. But is that not hockey? Is that not the hockey spirit?
Yeah.
Is that the sportsman spirit you've ever heard? So it says, as of right now, he's okay. He's back to normal. He's in graces. The doctors have been looking at him. It was just an incident for that night. But, man, what are you going to do?
Hockey heart attack, I guess. What a weird story.
But he wanted back in the game. I got to give him credit for that, dude. I'm serious, dude.
No, take the game off. It's okay, man. You had a heart attack. It's okay to take the game off.
That's right. All right, let's get to some scores, man. Lots of overtime games tonight.
Yeah?
So, Russ, who are the Oilers?
The Edmonton?
Good. What about the Wild?
Minnesota?
Good. I don't know if I would have known that.
Yeah.
Especially if you'd asked me that, I think I would have got Edmonton, but I don't know if I knew Minnesota.
I was about to say Houston, so.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't know Minnesota had the
NFL?
Wild. Anyways, the Oilers top the Wild in a shootout, 4-3.
There we go.
And Dallas Stars, having a night right here on 420radio.org. They beat the Blues in overtime, 3-2. Predators over the Sabres, 4-1, and the Sharks over the Leafs. Is that how you say it? I think we say Maple Leafs, because we got our leaf, they got their leaf.
Right, Maple Leafs.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Ours
Yeah.
is green, Maple Leafs are blue, Canada's is red.
Okay, I'm for that.
We love the green leaf here at 420radio.org. Devils winning tonight, Hurricanes winning, Coyotes Red Wings losing. So hockey's still going strong. I think their playoffs are about the same time as the NBA, aren't they? Don't they kind of, or do they go a little bit longer than the NBA season?
Hockey, they conclude before the NBA season concludes, but just barely, I think.
Because it starts before the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
there's
that's
many
what's
games.
going on. All right, if we had Bacon Dan with us, folks, you would definitely get a whole lot better hockey stuff. Radical Russ and I do our best with that sport. We're still learning.
Still learning. We'll do what we can.
What else you got, Russ? Anything?
I'm done. I got nothing else. No other sports that I've been paying attention to at this point.
I know I saw
And
bowling the other day.
There's been some NFL free agency losses. We talked a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I know bowling. Chris Barnes won again last weekend, and so that puts 2 wins for him. And bowling is now doing this team thing, and so they have certain cities, teams representing cities, and his team is on fire too. So Chris Barnes absolutely on fire right now in the PBA. And maybe we'll try to look that up and get some good bowling update in the next.
Yeah, we did get a hockey comment. How do y'all wanted to point out that today's players, and actually players from the last couple decades, grew up playing indoors. So as far as north-south, Atlanta or Montreal, doesn't matter because they played indoors anyway.
That's a great point.
But lately, the outdoor games have become popular. They've been doing these outdoor stadium things. And they were just saying how they had the Blackhawks playing the Penguins at Soldier Field, and they had like snow, Let's pile it up.
I watched some of that game,
ya?
and it was what caught me to make me watch that game was them outside in this weather thing.
Yeah.
It was so different. It was so cool.
Yeah,
how they did that, and they put it right in the football field, and they had the same football stands. It was like a game. It was amazing stuff. And yeah, I do wish hockey would look into more stuff like that. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Remember when they had the little blue thing around the puck?
Yeah.
And so you can see, and some people liked it, some people didn't, and the purists ended up winning, as they always do.
Which is, I think it was a good idea, but it was before its time, because I think you could do it now
maybe
and make it an option that people could turn on or off with, the way we have computer TVs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then everybody could choose for themselves. Because
Yeah.
I know some people, because I guess you say, the purists always win, but really, if you look at a football game these days, it looks like a video game. They got circles around this receiver and the 1st and 10 thing on the field, and the lines for the field goal range and for the first down and for the line of scrimmage. It looks like a video game, right? And that's where one aspect where I think video games have infected sports a little bit. And I know some people who wished it wasn't that way, and they could turn those graphics off.
Well, I got to admit that I'm that dude that if I was sitting in a room with hockey fans and they were all watching the game and somebody scored the goal, they would all jump up and I would still be sitting there, and then I would jump up because I never can keep up with the puck. I can't. I don't know what it is, but I can't see the damn puck.
Yeah. I'm losing my eyesight too. It's a little hard for me.
Well, it's just so hard, man. That thing's moving so fast, and these dudes, they're skating and they're punching, they're fighting, they're hitting, they're clawing, bleeding, cussing, having heart attacks. I mean, this sport's just freaking crazy, man.
Absolutely.
So, all right, there's your little NHL. Radical Russ, Herb Thrasher here, 420 Radio. We're going to call it a night.
Yeah.
Russ, it seems like for the next couple weeks, you're going to be out of town.
Yeah, this weekend I'm headed to Seattle for a business conference with the Magical Butter guys. And then next Thursday, I leave for 2 weeks for Atlanta, Georgia. I'm going to spend some time in Atlanta, some time in North Georgia, and for the first time in my life, some time in South Carolina.
Yep. Okay, so then we will be back next Tuesday night for sports.
Yes.
Okay, so we have another week of sports, and then the week after, I'm pretty sure you're in Colorado.
Right. Week after in Georgia.
All right, still normal shows this week throughout the whole week right here on 420radio.org. Russ Belville Show, Big Daddy Finks on Thursday night, Herb Thrashers on Friday night, Brian the Reds on Wednesday night. So you guys keep supporting all we do here at 420radio.org, and we will catch you next week right here on the Thrasher Sports Wall. For Radical Russ, Herb Thrasher, you guys be safe. Smoke lots of weed. Be free and have some great sports.
as I march till dawn. For the triumph and the power, spoils of war, for the hunger and desire of blood red throne. I ascend to the sky by the dawn's early light, fight for glory until death hails me. Will of vine, quiet soul, empty words,
This is my country. I live in it and I respect it. Yeah, well, well, well.